YouTube. Today on the Naughty Librarian, I am bringing you a relatively new book haul. I have been collecting some books recently. A lot of these are like new releases. A lot of these are maybe not new releases, but they are newer to me, and like I've got them from friends, I've got them from other people. I don't know, I've just been collecting them, and these are all relatively new releases, so I'm pretty excited about it. Let's get into it. First up, I have Protect the Prince by Jennifer Estep. This is a arc of it, and this is the second book of this series, I believe. I have book 1, it looks dope, and now I have book 2. I'm super excited. Eventually I will read book 1. Like, that one is like, it calls to me, so I'm excited I have book 2 already. So this is book 2 of the series, so I don't really understand the plot, what the blurb says, but basically this lady, she's like immune to magic, and she's like the queen, and she's like, oh shit, people are trying to kill me, there's some stuff I gotta do, and then she's gotta fight people in like political intrigue and magic, all that kind of stuff. I haven't read book 1, so it's hard for me to understand the plot for book 2, but it's got all that stuff. I mean, cover goals, she's wearing a cape and she has a bloody sword, like I'm living. This is definitely a book that you would see and you'd be like, oh, Amanda would like that. Like, this is an Amanda book. So I am excited. I got the arc of it. I am so pumped. Also, I picked up Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. I love Christina Lauren. I have literally read everything they've ever written. I'm a big fan. This one though, I am slightly nervous about, and I'll tell you why. I feel like this book in particular is going to be very similar to my least favorite book of theirs, which was Love in Other Words. And I feel like that's for a very particular audience that's not me. And I feel like this one, it's fooling me with its cover. Like, I feel like this is like so kind of, ooh, star-crossed lovers, it's going to be kind of delightful. And I'm like, no, it's going to be sad and they're fooling me. So I don't know how to feel about it yet. I mean, it's Christina Lauren. I'll probably still find something to like in it, but I have a feeling that this is going to fool me. Like, I'm going in thinking it's going to be whimsy and it's just going to be sad people doing sad stuff. So I'm kind of in that weird place. Like, I'm going to read this. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm nervous about it. Also, I picked up How Long Till Black Future Month by N.K. Jemison. And I liked N.K. Jemison. I read the 5th season by her, and it was so good. Like, it was so weird and, like, unintelligible to, like, ever say what the plot is to anybody, but so good. It's, like, genius. So I have been wanting to read something else by N.K. Jemison, and then my friend was like, hey, I got an extra copy, do you want it? And I was like, yes, I do, thank you. N.K. Jemison is mainly a speculative fiction author, and this is actually going to be a collection of short stories. And all of them sound super interesting, and I'm very fascinated by them. It's definitely, like, let's be real, I'm not the target audience for this, but I feel like I'm going to read it and really enjoy it, and I'm going to be immersed in this culture, and I'm super into that. So I'm definitely very excited to read this, and this might be actually a book I pass on to others, because I feel like other people should read it too. But I am very thankful to my friend for giving me a copy. I am super pumped to read this. I also got an Ark of War Girls by Tochi Onyebuche. I am not sure if I'm saying that right. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. I don't think I pronounced it correctly. He is the author of Beasts Made of Night, which does sound super interesting. It's kind of based in like African mythology, African magic, and I was very interested in reading that, and I hadn't read it yet. And then I was at a library book sale, and what did they have? Oh, they had the Ark of War Girls. Super into this. Oh my goodness. This is in futuristic Nigeria, and it's very war-torn, and you have these war girls who are basically soldiers who have been equipped with like cybernetic limbs. And it's about these two sisters who are trying to survive and like maybe see an end to war. And oh, like, it seems so freaking good. Like, I saw it at the book sale and I was like, who is getting rid of this? Oh my gosh, I wanted this arc. Like, it looks so good. So I was super excited to get it. I mean, war-torn futuristic Nigeria with girls who with cybernetic limbs, like, what part of that sentence sounds uncool? Like, all of it sounds amazing. So this is a book that's very much on my radar. I super want to read it. At that same library book sale, they had the Ark of Slay by Brittney Morris. This book is getting so much hype right now, and I saw it there and I was like, oh, it's the Ark? Yes. This is about a girl who has invented this like multiplayer immersive World of Warcraft-y type of game, and mainly it is for people of color, African Americans in particular, because you are playing as Nubian characters, so it is much more catered to them. And then, you know, because the internet is basically a festering sore of terrible sometimes. Like, there's a lot of backlash to this poor girl who is basically, they're saying it's anti-white discrimination, and it's, oh, I'm sorry, as a white person, I can say that is white people bullshit. I feel like I'm just going to be mad at white people during this book. But it has got such amazing hype around it. I was so excited that I found it at that book sale. I was like, who is getting rid of this? This is great. So this is definitely a book that was on my radar. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. This might also be a book that I pass on to another reader because, like I said, I'm probably not the target audience for this, and I would like to get it into an Own Voices reviewer. So this might be given away in the future. I also got a copy of Criers War by Varela. First of all, let's all just take a minute and appreciate the beauty of this cover. It is gorgeous. It's one of the prettiest covers I have seen in a long time. I am just moving it around because it's so intricate, and it's also kind of holographic, and I am obsessed. I love it. This is kind of a sci-fi, and it is in the future where there are like cyborgs and there are regular humans, and they're at war with each other. And it's about this cyborg girl who infiltrates this like human court to like kill the princess, but then they kind of fall in love with each other. So it is an FF romance, and it does have like kingdoms and princes and princesses and cyborgs and wars between them. So it's like Terminator in a fantasy castle land. And I'm like so about it. Oh my gosh, it's an FF romance Terminator story that takes place in a castle. Like, all of that sentence is amazing. I didn't think all those words would ever be in the same sentence together, but now that they are, like, I am obsessed. Like, I already was kind of obsessed with this, and now I'm like, why am I not reading this right now? But I did go actually to a signing for this, so this is signed. I am so excited. Oh, it's so good. I'm hoping it's good, because, like, the whole premise here is fantastic and amazing, so I'm hoping it lives up to the hype. Next up, I have not one, but two books from the Book of the Month Club. By the way, sorry, shameless self-promotion for a moment. I am a Book of the Month Club YA affiliate, and my link is in the description down below. If you use my link and you sign up and you use the code, right now I believe it is PSL15, I'll put that on the screen. Use that code, use my link, you get your first book for $9.99, which is like crazy dope. These are hardcover new releases, that's like 50% off. So, just saying. Also, they do nice things for me if you use my link. So if you're ever been fascinated by this and you want to try it out, it's there. Okay, shameless self-promotion over. Let's go into the book. The October book of the month I picked was The Beautiful by Renee, Ahdieh. And I have been wanting to read this book for like so long. You don't even know. Like, I was doing crazy things to try to get an arc of it. Like, questionable things. Well, not really. Like, I was just like hustling. I was like, oh, you got an arc? You got an arc? What can I trade you? Like, I was like really trying to get an arc of it. And it didn't end up happening. And then luckily I am a Book of the Month Club affiliate, so I had my opportunity to get the book. And it is a hardcover, full edition, not the arc. And I was like, yes, thank you, Book of the Month Club. You are a luminescent starfish of a company, and I love you. Okay, first of all, this is Renee, Ahdieh, and I have loved Renee Ahdieh's writing for a while. She wrote Wrath in the Dawn, which is one of my favorite books. It's so good. And then I haven't really read another really good Renee Ahdieh book since that one, so I'm hoping this one is gonna like change it around. I have heard great things about this. This is like 1800s New Orleans, so already I'm like, ooh, I love it. I love New Orleans stories. And it has vampires, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm just having bookgasms. Like, I'm so excited. So it's one of my favorite authors. It's got vampires. It's got New Orleans. It's in the 1800s. It's gonna be spooky, and like the cover is cool. Like, I am obsessed. There's nothing about this book that would make me not obsessed with it. And it kind of has like a dash of Twilight vibes, but like good ones. You know what I mean? Like the good parts of it. Like, it gives me a little bit of that. And I'm so fascinated. Like, I've been wanting this book. Like, you don't even know. who you might know, but like a long time. I've been wanting this book so bad. And I finally have it. It's in my hands. I'm so excited. Also, Book of the Month Club was kind enough to send me a copy of Frankly in Love by David Yoon. This is another book. I tried to get the Ark at Yalwest and I failed. So it came back to me in my life. Like, the universe brought it to me. I was very happy. This is about Frank. He is a Korean American kid, and his like goal in life right now, he wants to fall in love. And his parents are very much like, awesome, make sure it's a Korean girl. And he's like, oh, it's a white girl, oh no. So it's kind of that story. I think there's a little bit of fake dating involved, and he's trying to hide this relationship by pretending he's in this other relationship, and then this other relationship kind of sounds cool, so he gets himself into all kinds of shenanigans. Just teen rom-com drama. And I have been so fascinated by this book because I've been wanting to read it so much. It's David Yoon. This is the husband to Nicola Yoon from such books as Everything, Everything, and The Sun is Also a Star. So I want to see what his writing style is like because I like Nicola. I want to see what David's like. And I am so thankful to Book of the Month Club because they sent me a copy. And I've been wanting to read this. It's an Ark I missed at Yalwest, and now it's back in my life. I'm so happy. Also, I picked up a copy of Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This was one of my most anticipated reads of the year. Like, I am obsessed. I've been wanting this for so long. This is another book I was doing questionable things trying to get an Ark for. like, I was really trying to hustle for an Ark, and it didn't happen, but Leigh Bardugo luckily lives in Los Angeles like me, so she always has a Los Angeles stop when she tours, and she toured here and I went, so this is signed. I got to talk to Leigh, and I so want to read this. It's kind of, I don't know, it's like spooky, and it has demons and magic, and it takes place at Yale, and it deals with like secret societies and occult magic and demons and like terror, but like hope. Because it's Leigh Bardugo, and she always throws in like a dash of hope. So, ooh, like, I mean, it does have book snake, which is like iconic for 2019. Everything's got a snake on it, and this snake in particular, it's got book snake, but I got me into it. And seriously, it's one of my most anticipated reads of the year. It's her first adult book. I mean, you can make the case that, you know, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom are technically new adult books, but they would still be in the YA section of the bookstore. This one is going to be in the adult section. It gets dark, from what I've been told. So I am a little nervous because I have seen some content warnings that, like, kind of are a lot, but I'm going to read it still because I want to see how Leigh handles the situation. Because just because the situation exists doesn't mean it's treated unfairly or it's done improperly. So I do want to see how Leigh handles these dark situations. And yeah, it's one of my most anticipated reads. I am sincerely hoping it doesn't let me down, because if it does, like, I'm just going to be devastated. Like, I don't know what I will do. Oh my gosh. Like, it didn't occur to me that this could be bad till now. Like, I highly doubt it will be bad, but like, oh no, what if it is? It's not. No, it's not. It's not. Stop it. It's not going to be bad. It's going to be fine. Last book in this haul is Imaginary Friend by Chbosky. And, okay, I got to tell you guys a story about this. So, Chbosky, he is most famous for writing The Perks of Being a Wallflower. That is his only other book he's ever written. So, hey, 20 years later, he just put out another book. And it could not be more different. You have Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is like very much coming of age, emo, teen book. And then you have Imaginary Friend, which is very much adult horror. Very different books. And he waited 20 years to do it. And I found out he was doing a stop in LA in his tour. I think he lives out here, but he was doing a big LA event, and I was like, I am getting to the bookstore so early. I need to be there, because you guys don't know this. I don't talk about it, but like, The Perks of Being a Wallflower has such a special place in my heart. It's one of the first books I read just because I wanted to read it. And this was back in high school, and I found it and I read it, and it was one of those books that, like, I literally knew no one else in my world who had read it. I was the only one, so I felt like it was just like this special thing for me, you know what I mean? And it meant so much to me at the time, and it has so much hope in it, And it really got me through a lot of things as when I was a teen, you know, angsty and going through things. It really got me through some hard times, and it was my own special little world, you know what I mean? Like, that book has such like a deep meaning to me that when I met Chbosky at this signing, like, I had to psych myself up because I never get starstruck. I grew up in Los Angeles. I work in the movie industry. Like, I don't get starstruck. I see people. Like, it's not a big deal. But, like, I literally was so starstruck. Like, I was like, I am sitting like 5 feet away from him. And I was just like so stunned because it was like so much of my life has like, that book has been in my life for so long that I was like, oh my gosh. And like, I psyched myself up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask him a question. I'm gonna do it. I have to do it. Because when else am I gonna get an opportunity? And I did, and I was proud of myself. I'm like, I asked a question and he answered me, and like, he didn't just answer the room, like, he kept talking directly to me, and I was like so horrified but like so excited because I'm like, oh, he's talking to me. And like, he gave me this really long in-depth answer to the question I asked, and it was so cool. He was genuinely so kind and nice. And then we went up to the table and I was talking to him, and I was like, you know, like, you're so much cooler than me. Trying to not be a freak, basically. Just going, I loved your book, and it meant so much to me, and I'm so excited to read this one because I genuinely love horror books. And he's like, oh, me too. And he was so nice. And he's like, hey, do you want to take a picture? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I thought we were just going to take a picture, like me in the front of the table and him sitting down. He's like, no, come around. And I was like, like, I was just having asthma attacks every 10 seconds. But he told me, come around the table. So I got to go around the table, and he stood up and he like put his arm around me and we held books, and I was like, so like, I'll put in a picture here so you can see the picture we took. Like, this is a face of terror and happiness. So terrified, but so happy at the same time. And then I left the signing, and my hands were literally shaking. Like, it's never happened to me before. Like, I've met people. Like, I work in the movie industry. I've met people, but like, my hands have never shook. And it was so weird. It was just, Stephen Chbosky. Like, he's written 2 books. But it was such like a weird starstruck moment with this author that's meant so much to me. And he was so nice and like warm and welcoming, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you talked to me. So I felt like I was that weird kid who got to meet the cool kid, and the cool kid was nice to them. So like, it was such a wonderful experience. And I haven't talked anything about this book. I'm just talking about me geeking out about an author. But I feel like as book nerds, we've all had that moment where this book has meant so much to you and you just geek out about it. And I just did that to the author of the book. So we can all laugh at my pain. Anyway, Imaginary Friend is horror. It kind of is in the vein of like a Stephen King book where there's a single mother and her son. They are running away from an abusive relationship. They end up in this small town. The kid goes in the woods one day and then disappears for 6 days. Kid comes out of the woods. Kid's real fucked up. And it's all like a mystery about what happened in the woods. And there's like supernatural elements here, and the kid is like very much changed, and they're trying to figure out what happened. And it's also in this kind of small industrial town, so it's gonna have this very definite sense of place. You know what I mean? The setting is gonna be very particular to the story, and I am so interested. I mean, it is so long, by the way. It's like a 700-page book, and like Person Being a Wallflower is like this thin. Like, it's so short. So very different book. I need to read this like now. It's gonna happen. I'll probably read this in November. I can't wait any longer than that. I'm just, oh my god, I met him. I met Stephen Chbosky. Let me know in a comment down below, have you ever met an author that you were a crazy big fan of, and then they were nice to you and you freaked out about it? I can't be the only one this has happened to. So let me know in a comment down below if you've done the same thing as me. I just told you the story about meeting Stephen Chbosky, and like, I'm freaking out again over it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I met him. Like, I don't think I'm gonna like get over meeting him for a while, because it was like such things coming full circle in my life that it was just like a special moment for me in particular. But that's something really cool that books can do, you know? Like, this book meant so much to me that like when I met the author, I freaked out. Like, that's such like a cool thing. There's very few things in life that are like that important to people. So that is a really cool thing. And I feel like as book nerds, we can all appreciate that. Let me know in a comment down below. Have you read any of these books? And if so, which ones are your faves? Which ones are your least favorites? Which ones do you think I would like in particular the best? Let me know in a comment down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!